save the living words through tumultuous ages, living words which shoot from the consciousness, illumination of the children. Satyam Dhyanam Anantam Brahma Shantam Shivam Advaitam. So fortunately, although we have not lived up to those ideals, but at least we have preserved them in the sense that they are there, they cannot be destroyed. Although we have passed through very, as Gurudev said, tumultuous times. We were politically under domination of forces from outside, other countries, but still we were able to save those living ones which should from the illuminated consciousness of the children of India. So those words are still there. They can guide us, they can inspire us, and possibly if we are really have commitment, develop commitment, then possibly we can be in a position where we can transmit this message to the entire world. We can solve our problems and we can also help to create a new world order where everyone has respect for the other and where, as our Jain thinkers have said, Anekantva, Syarva, Naeva, where I have no right to question the other along her beliefs, her practices, and where ये कहने की बजाय यही सत्य है, हम ये कहें ये भी सत्य है, which other person believes in. With this, I would like to conclude my remark, and I would like to say, honorable parents, they have shown kindness. Please, I am ready to sit here and you speak as long as you want to speak.
May I request Shri Jyoti Mahanta to present his thoughts, please.
Your Excellency, Bihar, in the chair, corporate fortune, all of the same. Esteemed Vidwans on the stage and in the audience, Namah Sadasi. Sitting in this Bhagavad inscribed in the name of Shankardev, the great saint and preacher, poet and playwright, philosopher and reformer, artist and composer, all rolled into one from a son. It reminds me of one of his lines, who celebrated India again and again, recapitulated upon the greatness of India and human life in it again and again in spread across his writings. One line I'm quoting from him, Unam Haro Doro Ikin Borono Mohina. One of the greatest manifestations of India as a country, as a heritage, is the incredible preserve that our pastors. They not to speak of the Vedas and the allied treatises, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, primarily being metropolitan works, also are among the Dhammasastras. How come has it been celebrated to be in the Ramayana? Yavat Satsandi Gira Suhitastamahitare Tavat Ramayani Katha Mukasmuka specialist study. Likewise, the Mahabharata again makes a proud claim for itself. Dharme charte chakame cha mukshe cha bharata saha. Yet, hasti tat annatra gandhi hasti na. What's it? The Dharma Shastras with their abode goal of expounding, explaining the ways of attaining that Purushartha, Dharma and Moksha in particular, have been cornerstones in the stretches of the whole history of the whole history of the subcontinent, with their inalienable, enduring impact on the Indian society and culture. His Excellency the Governor particularly set the tone of the entire discussion of this session. I'm just adding a few points to share my thoughts. Turbulent periods of history of the subcontinent brought changes in all directions of its society, polity, and way of life for people, brought about by astounding effects of globalization, scientific inventions, including digital technology, but the enhanced spiritual ethos governing the social structure and values and even the pathways of life coming of the millennia of the Dharma Shastras embedded in the deep psyche of Indian population and even in its diaspora across sects and sectarian faiths have not been overturned or subjected to these agencies of change. The ideals and the theophilosophical postulations of great minds of the past, forming and framing the bedrock of the Dharma Shastras, not to speak of being obsolete, constantly animate the path of progress and those agencies in the patient challenges. The Dharma Shastras were not harboring alone and postulating principles and canons of faith, extended themselves to the wider canvas of large humanity, and explored to unexplored truths of human life and that of the universe, opening the way of dialogue and debate, and empowering the way of the individual and social mind. Sri Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, addressing the dilemma of Arjuna, advised, elevated him to the state of enlightenment through a dialectic discourse. However, the Lord, in his conclusion, left the decision to be taken by Arjuna himself to do or not to do. That is Sasi Tathakuru. Or in other words, to hold the Gandiva against the enemy as the corporate power, that is dharma or duty. In the entire range of the Dharma Shastras, in the vague utterances of the Vedic chants, the onerous celestialness of the Upanishads, the marvelous psychological analysis of the Buddhists and the Jains, the stupendous argumentativeness of the Sankhakaras and the Nayayikas, the illustrious commentaries on the Vedanta and the Brahma Sutra by Acharyas are found phenomenal convergence in the spiritual, and intellectual, sacred and secular, meek and mundane, poetry and logic, abstract and concrete, philosophical and practical practitioners intertwined with each other. It reminds me of what Dr. Krishnan said of Indian philosophy in response to vilifying criticism of the Indian schools of thought by skeptics belonging to the Western language. And I am skipping that question for constraint of time. Summing up, the Dharma Shastras, multilinear and multifocal together, are a pravaha, a trajectory constituted of diverse streams of thought, most of which were written in Sanskrit, bearing the Buddhist and the Jaina in country, and some of the old traditions in languages other than Sanskrit. the Pravaha should found the reincarnation with the renewed vigor, popularity, and active participation, social participation for that matter, in course of the whole range of the movement, ranging from the south to the north, west to the east, extended to the farthest northeast, initiated and sustained by the polyphony of voices, saints and preachers, poets and composers, scholars and reformist leaders, artists and composers again. The movement sang it not alone about the unflinching love for the divine, but also created new registers and laid down new idioms of ethical principles for the changed social and historical context for spiritual upliftment of all sections of the people, including the socially depressed. Despite the erudition of classical Sanskrit, they cultivated the language of the people and turning the Shastras laid their message at the doorstep of the commoners. To reiterate what I said, the architects of medieval India in reincarnated form up to ancient Shastras played a grand role in molding, enlightening, and governing the spiritual, ethereal, terrestrial, social, political, aesthetic, and cultural ways of life of Indian society, finding their enduring relevance even to the present century. Thank you so much.
And now the question of the Secretary to present her views.
Namaste, Namo Namaha, Honorable Chair, Excellency Governor Sir, distinguished scholars, panelists, and dear friends. It's a profound privilege to speak today on this Tamil literature. Being a Sanskrit student, though the subject is vast, timeless, and foundation of Indian civilization, I'll try to write up in 7 minutes. The word dharma is among the most subtle and powerful term in Sanskrit, dhru, which means to upload and to sustain. Dharma is that principle which sustains a society, maintains cosmic order, and guides human beings toward a good life. Dharma literature holds a foundational place in India's cultural heritage. It's not only a spiritual guide, but also a fundamental work or a framework for the ethical, social, and legal order, rooted in the timeless concept of dharma, the principle of righteousness, justice, and the responsibility. It shaped the collective identity of Indian civilization. Thus, the dharma literature is one of the most significant streams of Indian intellectual and spiritual tradition. Mahabharata says, Dharyate dharma. And in Shanti Parva again he said, Dharma Rakshati Rakshita, when protected, Dharma protect us in return. Thus the Dharma is both our protector and also our responsibility. Right from the Vedas, Upanishads, Dharma Shastras, Smriti, Purana, etc., it laid down the principle of righteous conduct and moral responsibility. Its influence is visible across the country, shaping Indian culture in profound ways. Dharma literature provides guidelines for personal conduct, family life, and community relations. Concepts such as Varnashram Dharma, duties of the life, and also duty of the professions, and the Samanya Dharma, the universal duties of the man. Truth, compassion, non-violence, freedom, or moral fabric that sustain the society and life. The earliest glimpses of the Dharma appears in the Rig Veda, the concept of the cosmic order in the precursor of the Dharma. The gods themselves are said to follow, ensuring the harmony in the universe. Dharma text emphasizes that Dharma society and of the cosmos. Without a Satyam Javidata, so here we see that the truth and order are the essence of dharma. The Vedic ritual system also is dharma, not only as outer action but also as an inner alignment with the cosmic law. The Dharma text emphasizes that dharma is a sustaining force. The Upanishads elevate dharma from an external ritual to the internal realization, self-realization. They stress Atma Dharma, the dharma of the self. The Brahma Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad says Satyam Pada Dharmam Charam. Speak truth, practice truth. Simple but the profound injunction lays the foundation of ethical life. The Chandogya Upanishad says Dharmo iti jagata pratishtha. Dharma is indeed the foundation of the world. Thus the Upanishads universalize dharma as both inner virtue and the social virtue. The Dharma Shastra and the Smritis guided conduct in four ashramas and varnas. The systematic codification of dharma comes in the Smritis and Dharma Shastras. Yajnavalkya Smriti became the foundation of early Indian jurisprudence. They emphasized justice rooted in moral duty, influencing systems law, and kingship and administration. Vedas Smriti Sadacharaha Swasya Cha Priyatmanaha Etar Chaturvidam Prau Sakshat Dharmasya Lachana. This is said in Manusmriti that the Veda Smriti, conduct of the noble and one's own conscience are the four defining dharma. The Narada Smriti emphasizes justice and law of governance. Texts like Manusmriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti integrated justice with the ethical values laying the foundation of Indian justice system. This text shows dharma as a dynamic, adaptable to Desha, Kala and Patra. Then comes the dharma in the epics. Inspiration to arts and literature. The epics and the Puranas, rooted in the dharma, enrich poetry, theatre, dance and storytelling traditions, imbibe their lessons in cultural expressions. The Ramayana. Dharma is personified in Rama, who is known as the Maryada Purushottam, the embodiment of ideal conduct. When Rama is exiled, he accepts it as his duty. Vikrut Vachanam Purvataha Dharma Param Sukham. For one who obeys the word of his own father, Dharma itself is supreme. Mahabharata Dharmasya Tattvam Etam Guhaya. The essence of Dharma lies hidden in the cave. This